Hello there guys and welcome, it is Niran here, and today it's time for me to welcome you to something very different. I've never done anything like this on the channel before, but it's been something that's been very requested given their performances in real life. Obviously, I am kind of known at the moment for doing my Leicester City career mode, so there's quite a lot of you guys that are Leicester City fans, you know, naturally. And quite a few of you have been asking me to do my predictions for ratings for next year's FIFA for Leicester City's squad. Now this is something so difficult because Leicester didn't have a very good squad going into the season on FIFA, certainly. Yet, because they've won the league, you know, surely they're going to have to get such a massive upgrade that A, it makes it basically impossible to predict realistically, but B, it's also something that's very much unprecedented on FIFA because EA aren't very good at giving massive upgrades to players. The likes of Harry Kane, who was still only 81 or 79 or something at the start of this FIFA, despite scoring 20 plus goals last season. So, what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to predict the overalls of the whole Leicester City starting 11, plus a few bench players as well. Sort of give a vague prediction in terms of potential as well when it comes to career mode, because obviously I'm a career mode YouTuber, so just add a little bit of an edge in that sense. And then at the end, bring you the prediction from the squad as a whole, so, you know, give my FIFA 17 predictions in terms of the rating at the end, and then compare it to how the same squad looked at the start of FIFA 16, and it should be a massive contrast. Obviously, cut me some slack because I've not done this before. I don't really do you know, predictions, but if you do want to see more of these, then feel free to drop it in the comments section. If you do it, go on to enjoy the video, and tell me what team to predict next, whether it be a team that I've done in career mode before, or whether it just be a random team, perhaps maybe like West Ham or Southampton or something like that. Whatever you want, drop that in the comments section, and I will be trying to do my best. What I'll do is I'll bring the prediction of each player, give you know, a few cinematics, and then, as I said, show you the squad and compare it to FIFA 16's at the end of the video. But getting into the first player, we might as well start in goal. That'll be fairly logical. Kasper Schmeichel was 76 overall at the start of FIFA 16. I reckon he'll get a pretty hefty sort of upgrade for FIFA 17 because he's someone who's been overshadowed slightly. When it, you know, I know his story is big because he's the son of Peter Schmeichel, but he's been overshadowed really by his centre-back, the centre-backs in front of him, and the likes obviously of Mahrez and Kante and Vardy. But I would like to see him as an 82 overall. I think that'll be fair. I think he probably deserves slightly more than that, given this year. And when you compare him to other goalkeepers, you know, like Courtois, who's probably still going to be like 86 next season, despite having been woeful in comparison to Schmeichel. But I'm taking into account FIFA and EA and their reluctance sometimes to give big upgrades to players who probably aren't as known as the likes of Courtois and Petr Cech. For example, despite Schmeichel being arguably up there with them in terms of performance this season. But yeah, that's a +6 upgrade for him. Probably a potential still of 82. He's probably a little bit too old to grow too much in career mode. Moving on though from Schmeichel, we've got Danny Simpson. 78 overall I predicted for him. He was 72 overall at the start of FIFA 16, so that's an upgrade of 6. EA aren't very good at upgrading or giving sort of ratings to fullbacks that they perhaps deserve. David Alaba was, you know, only good recently on FIFA, so I reckon 78 with maybe a potential to grow by 1 or 2 in career mode is probably fair for him and probably realistic as well for the game. In terms of the centre-backs, the first of which we've got Robert Huth, who was 78 at the start of FIFA 16. I'm predicting 82 for him. I think that's probably about fair. +4 upgrade for him. Still fairly unpacey, but very good physicals, obviously, and defensive stats as well. And then Wes Morgan. Him and Huth have been probably, you know, you can't really tear them apart in terms of performance this season. So I've gone for 82 for him as well. That's obviously a bigger jump for Morgan than it is for Huth, because Morgan was only 73 at the start of FIFA 16. So that's a +9 upgrade for him. Moving on to the other full-back, and that is Christian Fuchs, the left-back from Austria. He was 74 overall at the start of the game. He got a team of the season, which was also 74 in Ultimate Team just today, as I'm recording this. I reckon he'll get a +5 upgrade to 79 for the same reason, you know, being lower than the centre-backs, for the same reason as I get for Simpson. EA aren't very good at upgrading full-backs to the overalls that they deserve, and I think anyway 79 is probably about fair for Christian Fuchs. Given he had a higher rating than Simpson at the start of this FIFA, he's more likely to maintain a higher rating than Simpson for FIFA 17. Now we move on to the players though that really grabbed the headlines in the season. The likes of Riyad Mahrez, Kante, and for Riyad Mahrez especially, the Algerian superstar. I've gone for him as getting a +9 upgrade from 76 to 85. Perhaps a little bit optimistic, but at the end of the day, he got a 93 overall Team of the Season card. In terms of potential as well in career mode, he's still fairly young. I think he'll be 25 on FIFA 17, so +2 in terms of his potential growth to potentially being 87 on career mode. A sort of a growth of 1 or 2 on career mode from that age is probably fair enough in reality. So I've gone for 85 then for Mahrez in terms of his starting overall. And then moving on to central midfielders, we've got N'Golo Kante, the man, the myth, the legend. He just doesn't stop running. I don't think he'll have a higher rating than Mahrez because Mahrez won Player of the Year, but I've gone for 84 for N'Golo Kante, who was 77 at the start of FIFA 16. I think that's probably about fair. I've gone for the same potential though for Kante in terms of career mode because I'm fairly sure Kante is a year younger than Mahrez, so I think he'll be 84 at the start of the game, but we'll have a potential of 87, which is what I predicted for Riyad Mahrez as well. And I think that's very much deserved. In reality, I think he could have a higher starting overall than that, but if they give him a fairly high potential, then it certainly pleases the career mode guys, and 84 is a pretty decent rating to have on Ultimate Team as well. His centre mid partner is of course Danny Drinkwater. I've gone for 80 overall for him with a potential of 82 on career mode. Drinkwater, another one who got a Team of the Season card. He was 74 overall at the start of the game, had a 74 overall Team of the Season card as well. And I think a +6 rating for him is fantastic. Is probably fair realistically, and fantastic for him. 80 overall is sick for Danny Drinkwater. He hasn't really, I don't think he's been quite as good as Kante and Mahrez, but he's certainly pulled his weight, and I think he could even have 81, to be honest. 80 or 81, flip a coin, in all honesty. After that, though, we've got Marc Albrighton, another English player. I reckon he's going to be 79, with a potential to grow by 1 or 2 in career mode as well. That's a +8 growth for him in comparison to the start of FIFA 16, where he was 71 overall. The vast majority of these players, of course, were silver at the start of the game, which is just absolutely mad to think about. But yeah, Albrighton 79. And then moving on to the strikers quickly before we move on to the bench and the full team. Shinji Okazaki, the Japanese striker, he was one of the highest rated players in the squad at the start of this year. He was 78 overall at the start of the game this time round. I reckon he'll get a +3 upgrade to 81, just purely because he was so high rated in the first place, realistically, in comparison to the rest of the squad. I think that's pretty much fair. He wasn't, one of the, oh my god, outstanding players of the squad, but he very much pulled his weight and still had an extremely good season by the standards he was probably expecting before signing for Leicester. And then his strike partner, obviously another man who grabbed the headlines, Jamie Vardy, was 75 overall at the start of the game proper. He was actually 71 in early access, but 75 when the game came out. I'm predicting a +10 upgrade for him. Realistically, I would like that personally. I still think that's probably a little bit optimistic, to be honest with you. And then a potential to grow by 1 in career mode. So 85 overall and 86 potential. I still think that's kind of unrealistic, maybe. I think he's more likely to get something like 82 or 83, but 85 would be sick, let's be honest. Here then is a squad, the starting 11 as a whole, just to put that into perspective. And obviously now you can see the contrast that has in comparison to the squad that at the start of FIFA 16. There's such a massive difference, in card colour, in terms of the majority of them being silver at the start of the game, and hopefully all of them certainly being gold for FIFA 17. So I mean, that would be sick if they got the ratings that I've predicted for them today. That would be fantastic, and that'd be quite refreshing from EA, because I wouldn't expect them to give them that big an upgrade. Moving on to the bench very swiftly, Mark Schwarzer, I'm sure will keep the same rating that he had at the start of FIFA, which will be 73. Daniel Amati was 70 overall at the start of the game. I reckon he'll probably get about 72, something like that. Just a quick +2 upgrade on him. Jeffrey Schlupp, who was 68 overall at the start of the game, reckon he'll get to 74. I don't think they'll give him a gold card. I don't think he quite warranted that, but of course a very pacey silver card of 74. They love giving out 74 cards on Ultimate Team, so I reckon he'll get one of those. Andy King was 70 overall at the start of the game. Hasn't played too much this season, but has still looked very good when he played, and just generally when they give upgrades to the rest of the squad, I reckon he'll get an upgrade as well to 72. Damari Gray was another 68 overall player at the start of the game. I reckon he'll actually get a gold card this year, and to 75. Not quite well into the gold area, but in the games that he's played, he's looked gold standard. He looks as if he should be 75 overall. And then finally, Leo Ulloa, who was 73 overall at the start of the game. I reckon he'll get a pretty non-rare, sort of bog standard 76 overall card. Despite his performances in real life, I can't really see him getting higher than that in all honesty. Maybe 77, who knows, but it certainly won't be a rare gold card. But yeah, that's my predictions then for some of the slightly more fringe players in the Leicester City squad, and that is it for my predictions for the Leicester squad in general. As I said at the start of the video, if there's any other teams that you want me to predict for next season for FIFA 17, then drop that in the comments section. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see it turn into a series, then tell me that as well, and also leave your predictions for players' ratings in terms of Leicester squad in the description, in the comments section as well. I would love to see the players get the ratings they got in this video, but I'm not entirely sure. We'll have to wait and see. It would be nice. Again, congratulations to Leicester as well. If you did enjoy the video though, feel free to hit the likes button, subscribe if you're new around here as well, and it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a good day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.
No, that's not me.